Listen, hey, how is everybody doing? Thank you for coming on, and thank you for tuning into this video. Of course, you guys know I'm His Majesty Trimell McCray. Joseph is my husband. Together we are the McCray Kings. For those of you that don't know who we are, first of all, before I say anything, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody on this live and everybody that may watch this later on. I'd like to thank you guys for your support on our other different social media network platforms such as YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. And, although all of you guys haven't joined us on YouTube, we still appreciate your support. And for those of you that have not, please make sure you go over to YouTube and like and subscribe to our channel. We are under the McCray Kings name. That's Kings with a Z, Kingz. And just make sure that you subscribe to our channel. With that being said, I'm going to get into what I came on to say now. As you guys know, Joseph and I, we no longer go live here on Facebook. We really, we really tuned out here on Facebook and tuned in on YouTube more than anything. But from time to time, you will see us come on our platform here to talk about different things or to give you different news or whatever. But today I really felt compelled to come on and talk about what I saw today on the Wendy Williams show. And I understand that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of my LGBTQ brothers that really took what she said lightly. And you know what? Before I even get into that, I want you guys to understand this. Because I've heard I've seen a lot of the different posts and comments that people have talked about when it comes to Billy Porter, when it comes to some of our LGBTQ brothers that choose a different aesthetic. As you guys can see, I have a lace top on, and you got anybody that knows me personally, and I try to spread. I try to tell people this as much as possible. I really try to live in my truth, and that truth is that I don't identify as being a specific gender. I don't identify as gay. I don't identify as a butch queen or a queen or a transgender. I don't identify with that. However, I respectfully understand people that do identify with those particular titles. As far as I am concerned, my name is Trimell McCray, and that's who I am. Period. Point blank. Okay. I respect. I want people to understand that the most important thing, one of the most important things in the world, is respect and honor. And I also want you to understand that choosing your words and some of the things that you say and your views on things. You have to be very careful because you never know who you may be offending. Now, I was very offended by some of the things that I heard some of my LGBTQ brothers say about Billy Porter and, about his what he wore to the Oscars. I was very disappointed in a lot of my LGBTQ brothers that had a negative opinion about Billy Porter and what he wore to the Oscars. I also had I was also I'm also upset about what I heard Wendy Williams say today on her show. Wendy Williams she did her Hot Topics show today, and one of the things that she said was she wanted all gay men to stop wearing. She said stop wearing our skirts and our shoes and our clothes, and you know for somebody like you in the like Wendy Williams in the public eye, I really feel like that's something inappropriate to say. It's inappropriate for anybody to say, you know. And I just I can't let I couldn't let that go by. I couldn't let that pass by without being hurt by it, you know, because there are people out in the public eye. There are people that are not out in the public eye that choose a different aesthetic than I do. Now, listen, I don't wear dresses. I don't wear women's high heel shoes. I really don't wear women's clothes. This shirt that I have on was made by a designer from Newark, New Jersey. His name is Marco Hall, and this shirt was made. This is not a female shirt. It's a fabric. It's a lace fabric. And no, a lot of men don't wear lace, but it's something that I choose to wear. It's my aesthetic. But just because I have this lace top on, don't make me less of a man than any man out there. I don't deal with toxic masculinity. I'm not that's not my aesthetic, and I respect anybody's aesthetic. Do I like what Billy Porter had on at the Oscars? I like it for him. If he likes it, I like it. But would I wear it? Absolutely not, because that's not my aesthetic. Last year, Billy Porter chose to wear a tuxedo dress. Would I wear that? Absolutely not, because that's not my aesthetic. There's a lot of things that I see a lot of gay men wear that are not my aesthetic. And the one thing that I want to make clear to all of you heterosexual people out there is that I don't want you to think that Billy Porter is the narrative for all of us as gay men. Because although I have this lace top on right now, I can put on a pair of jeans and wear them hanging off of my ass. I can put on a denim suit or whatever it is that you feel as though is men's clothing. I can wear those things, and I do wear those things. But that's my choice. And what Billy Porter chooses to wear, that's his choice. And who are we, both heterosexual and gay men? Who are we to criticize that? Who are we? To my LGBTQ brothers especially, this is what we asked for. This is what we fought for. This is what we sacrificed for. This is what many people in my community were killed for, being themselves. It's people that make statements. And Charles, I understand that you didn't take what Wendy Williams said to heart, and you didn't take you weren't hurt by what she said. But what you have to do, what you have to understand is this: it's statements like that that are the reason why a brother like me may not be able to walk through Brooklyn with this top on, because somebody made a statement like that and heard something. And she made a statement like that, and somebody heard it and rocked with what she said and felt like they had to pull out a gun and shoot me because I chose to wear this top. It's people that make statements like that is why LGBTQ brothers, both young and old, are attacked and killed every day. I've had many friends, many friends that have been killed because they weren't afraid to live in their truth. Right now in this country, we have many transgender, both transgender men and women, that choose to live in their truth and be comfortable in their own skin, that are being attacked and killed for being that way. And so I don't take statements like that lightly. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. For those of you and you LGBTQ brothers that were not did not take what she said as being negative, I'm not saying that you should. You have a right to feel the way, whatever way you want to feel. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as me, this is my opinion. I have zero tolerance. I have zero tolerance for hate when it comes to my community. Zero tolerance, because I personally have seen and witnessed what it has done to people in my community. So am I offended? Do I take offense to it? Yes, I take offense to it. And I'm choosing my words very, very wisely, because I don't want to come across as a person that is going to say, I hate you, Wendy Williams. F you, Wendy Williams. Or you're a bastard, or, just call her all kind of names, or read her for filth. That's not what this is about. I'm trying to get you people, both heterosexual and homosexual, to understand that statements like that we laugh at and that we take lightly, there's somebody out there that's going to take that statement serious. And they're going to want to do something negative about it instead of doing something positive about it. I lost my whole entire family because of racism like that. I don't even speak to my own mother because of racism like that. That's why I'm so hurt by the statement that Wendy Williams made. And anybody that knows me will tell you I'm a big fan of Wendy Williams. I've been to her show many, many times. She even gave me a nickname while I was there. But if I would have been in the audience today, I would have got out. I would have got up and walked out. I would have got up and walked out. It's not cool, y'all. It's not cool for people to make statements like that. It's like my husband said, it's okay for y'all to, and I'm talking to the heterosexual world. It's okay for y'all to y'all sit here and y'all give us these compliments and love us, and y'all sit here and y'all laugh when we make jokes. Y'all sit here and y'all call yourself having a tolerance for us. But the minute y'all get mad at us, y'all want to call us the F word. Stop. Or y'all want to say all these negative things about us. That's what needs to stop. Understand that. And people in my LGBTQ brothers, my brothers, instead of doing things like criticizing Billy Porter for an outfit that he had on, we need to stand behind him, and we need to support him. No, it may not be. It may not be what you like.
Put that on me for 1 second.
It may not be what you like, but it's okay.
But put that on me 1 second, because I can't. I'm so tired. Jojo, why we always gotta forgive? Why don't they stop doing shit to be forgiven for? That kills me. We always gotta be the bigger ones. We always gotta be the ones to say, they don't know no better. Fuck them and fuck their lives. They know better. Please. No, ain't nobody gotta forgive shit. Cause this ain't the first time. She said the same thing about people with cleft lips. And they signed a petition, 40,000 people strong, to get her taken off TV. Wendy Williams sit and say whatever the fuck she want, but talk about her fucking swollen ass legs or her motherfucking eyes bulging out her motherfucking head. Then she want to sit and cry and say people are mean. But when she can sit and say whatever the fuck she want. Because I'm that bitch that's time for her. I can sit and read her all day long. You say that skirts and pumps are for women, but you look like a whole motherfucking man. So why you got them on?
Well, see, I don't even want to take that role.
No, I didn't say you take that role.
You know what I'm saying?
We all can take whatever role. I'm not Michelle Obama. Yeah. When they go low, I go lower, bitch.
Yeah, but I mean...
No, I'm just because JoJo said we got to forgive. Why? When do they stop doing shit that we have to forgive? Because all the forgiving in the world, they just turn around and keep doing shit over and over and over. And all y'all do is sit there and forgive and forgive and forgive. And gay men are just as bad. Because half y'all you can't be mad at what Wendy said, because you sit and say the same thing about Billy Porter. And you say the same thing about Little Nas, and you say the same thing about any gay man that decides he wants to put on a dress, a pair of pumps, and some makeup. So you can't be mad at her because she didn't say nothing different than the narrative y'all are spinning. But one day, you fake-ass masculine queens are going to realize the same way they sit and talk about them, they sit and talk about you. Just because you walk around and think you a boy, there's always a bitch like me in the background going,
address this. I want to address
because
this.
people get tired of the okie doke.
I want to address this to this Paul Valentino with all due respect. I really get so sick and tired of people putting God into the mix of us being gay, us gay men, and how God don't like gay men and God don't like the homosexual act and so on. I get so sick and tired. That's so played. It's so played. Now your God, let me just say this, and I've said this to my mother, I've said this to people that have all these things to say about how God don't like this and God don't like that. The God I know, he just loves, period. The God I know, he loves. That's the God that I was raised to believe in. So your comments about if it's not of God, then it won't manifest, mean absolutely nothing to me. You can say that to you blue in the face, and you're entitled to have that view. You're entitled to have that opinion.
So
with all due respect. With all due respect.
Is a baby born with
God? No,
one
no.
arm?
God loves. Period. God just loves.
See, that means
period.
anything wrong in the world that ain't of God, because it ain't perfect, ain't of God.
They talked about Jesus, Paul, but guess what? Jesus ain't here no more. We ain't talking about Jesus. We're talking about us as human beings. Every single human being that walks this earth deserves to be respected.
Hey, King.
Every single human being that walks out their door deserves to be respected and deserves to walk down the street without having to worry about being teased and ridiculed and talked about just because they live in their truth. So I don't want to hear that God stuff, because you serve a different God than I serve. So I'm not offended by
So
that.
let me ask you a question. When the cops pull you over, you going to tell them when they go to shoot your black ass that it ain't of God? Because they don't give a damn. And the Bible says, kill no just man without cause. And how many black men are getting killed without just cause? A whole lot. You got the right one now because my daddy a minister. You show me in the Bible one verse, just one, where Jesus said being gay was a sin. You can't, because he never did. Man said it was a sin. Jesus never said that. And if it is a sin, what's the sin? What's the sin? Don't tell me loving another man is a sin, because then that would mean Jesus is a sin because Jesus is love. So what's the sin? And if the sin is sex, then all you heterosexual people are going to drop dead and be in hell with the queens because y'all ain't doing nothing different than we doing.
You don't serve the same God as me, Paul. I'm sorry. With all due respect, you don't serve the same God as I serve. Because the God that I serve loves, period, point blank. And I'm not going to debate that.
But I'm glad
with
you going to hell, because I know my Bible said, God said he'll have mercy on who he chooses. Yeah. So that don't mean everybody wrong is going to hell. That don't mean everybody that do things are going to hell. Because he might look at somebody and say, you know what? Nobody came in your life and tried to save you. So guess what? I'm excusing all of that. Go. First of all, the last time I checked, your name was Paul. It wasn't God. And you didn't have a highway to heaven. So if you want to go to hell, that's your business.
Well, you know what? I don't even address stuff like that. I really don't, because I know what I know. The one thing, you know what?
Because we back to church hurt, where y'all sit and believe these ministers telling y'all this bullshit, but y'all sit in church every Sunday and amen, and walk out and suck a dick on Monday through Saturday. Like, that don't make sense. How you gonna sit and believe something and then do the total opposite every day of the week? It makes no sense. It makes you stupid, not the minister, not people in church, but you. Because you sit there and amen and hallelujah hallelujah, whether you straight or gay, and you leave on Sunday and go back to doing everything you was doing Monday through Saturday and sit right there and listen to how y'all all going to hell for doing all the shit you did during the week, and leave again on next Sunday and go right back. So who's the fool? Because see, the gay people.
That's not the God I serve, so I'm not going to debate. I'm not. I'm so tired of debating with my fellow man and my fellow woman about what God is and what God hates and what God don't like and what he like and what he dislike. All I know is from the time that I started going to church as a child up until now, the God that I serve, I know he's about one thing, and he's about love. And once people, I don't care, I don't care what denomination you are. Once you get that into your head and understand that the key to you getting into heaven is the key to you getting into heaven is love. That's it. That's it. There's nothing but love. The ones that are going to hell are the ones that hate.
Well, if you think by going to church is going to make you go to heaven, by all means, go to any church you want to and sit there all day long. Matter of fact, sit there for the whole week. Pray. And then you won't go to hell. What? But King Jobs, you right. I read what you wrote, and you're absolutely correct.
What did he write? What did he say?
Basically, go down. Right there. It's right there where your thumb is.
Oh. That's right. I have my relationship with God. You know, they say people that say I think or I believe or I think, those are people that don't know and they're unsure about who God is. See, I don't believe in God. I know who he is. I know who he is to me.
Exactly. Anthony.
I know my relationship with God. So, although I have been mentally abused by ministers telling me that I'm going to hell, and although I've been mentally abused by family members like my mother telling me that my life is wrong, I know that not to be true.
Thank you, Christine, but a lot of these Christians don't see it that way.
I know that
they
not
don't
to be
see
true.
in loving people. They so convinced to send everybody to hell and tell us that God hates
You can't.
us.
They can't
but in the
send me to
Bible,
hell.
I never saw where Jesus hated anything or anybody.
The one thing I know is that God is love. Period. Point blank. And getting back to what I was talking about when it comes to Wendy Williams, like I said, small statements like that are said in jest, and maybe perhaps, and I don't know, maybe she did say what she said in jest. Maybe she did, but small statements like that turn into big situations. Small statements like that turn into murders. Small statements like that turn into gay bashing. Small statements like that turn into ridicule. Small statements like that turn into a mother throwing her son out because he came to her and said that he wanted to live in his truth. Small statements like that are the reason why Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have to be careful where they take their son, and have to deal with the ridicule and the bantering and the just the outright cruel statements that people are saying about their daughter because their daughter decided to live in her truth. Small statements like that. I thought we endured all of this. What do we endure all of this for, people? My brothers, my LGBTQ brothers that are from my day and age. I came out in the 90s, in the 2000s, and I've watched friends get killed. Shout out to Jerome Pendarvis, who was thrown off a roof for being gay. Shout out to my house brother Chris Pendarvis, who was walking down the street and voguing. And he was chased into a park and killed for living in his truth. Shout out to people like my husband, who at one point in time was transgender. And some of the stories that he told me of some of the things that he had to endure as a transgender woman. We fought, and we're still fighting for equality. And to be honest with you, people, women, let me just say this to you. A majority of us gay men, we don't want to be a woman. Those transgender, those people that choose to be a woman, that's their choice, and that's okay. That's okay. But I don't want to be a woman. All I want to do is do the same thing that you do. I want to be able to live in my truth without having to have fear. That's all. I just want to be able to live in my truth without fear. That's it. Y'all got it all wrong. If you have, and let me just say this, and I'm really trying to bridge this gap between us, Joseph, as gay men, with heterosexual people. I'm trying to bridge this gap and get y'all to understand that we don't.
First, can you just call it for what it is?
What is it?
It's not all heterosexual people. It's black people.
Whether it be black, white, purple, whatever. The gap that I'm trying to bridge and trying to get y'all to understand is that we want the same things that you want. We want to be able to live in our truth, just like you do. When you walk down the street with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you're holding hands, or you're sitting in the park and you laying out with having a picnic with your girlfriend or boyfriend, we want to be able to do that. If we want to be able to do that, we want to be able to walk down the street holding hands. I want to be able to walk into an establishment without everybody looking at me like I got 10 heads. I want to be able to go to a Let me tell y'all a story. I hope my husband don't get mad at me for sharing this. Let me tell y'all a story. My husband had a stroke last month, and he was in the hospital and he came home. He was referred to a physician so that he could get rehab, so that he could recover from his stroke. And when we went to see the physician, this physician told us that there was nothing. First of all, she asked us, what do we identify as?
She asked me.
She asked Joseph, what did he identify as? And when he said, I identify as a man, as he.
And
him, she then asked, so are you gay? And so Joseph was like, well, I don't know any heterosexual men that are married to another man. Of course I'm gay. And moments later, the doctor came back into the office, into the examination room, and told my husband that there was absolutely nothing that she can do for him. And she used the excuse that his numbers were, his blood work was all over the place.
Because of the dialysis.
Because he's on dialysis. When both of us knew that was not the case. All my husband needed was a referral so that he can start physical therapy, so that he can recover from the stroke that he had. We are going on month 2, and my husband has not had any rehabilitation. But let me tell you something, all you people that talk about who God is, and what God is, and how God hates this and how God hates that. Well, he must not hate us too much, because look at my husband. Look at him. Look at him. Do he look like he had a stroke?
I'm still cute.
Do he look like he had a stroke? That's what God does. So y'all can talk that bullshit about us going to hell because we gay all you want to. But this is what God does when somebody has a stroke. This is what God does. Show him your face, Joseph.
Y'all saw my video on YouTube that I was recording a podcast while I was having a stroke.
Recording a podcast.
Didn't even know I was having a stroke.
Didn't even know he had a stroke. Now, you telling me that God hates me? You telling me God hates God hates this? You telling me that God hates my husband? Y'all don't even know. You don't even know. I went to the pharmacy last month, and my insulin was $214. And I'm on a fixed income. That's my insulin. This is what God does. This is what God does to those that love, and that spread his word of love. This is what God does. Don't tell me how God hates me. Don't tell me that. You can't tell me that God hates me. You can't tell me that God hates my husband who just had a stroke a month ago and can walk with no problem. He couldn't even see clear. He was completely numb on his left side.
Right.
On his right side. Last month. Could not walk. Was stumbling as he was walking. And look at him.
Cooking dinner, driving, I can see clear.
Look at
all
him.
y'all now.
But y'all sit here and y'all talk about how God hates the homosexual.
Because it wasn't me, it was God.
God hates a homosexual.
I told him I want to be normal by my mama's birthday. And honestly, I'm about 90%. I got a little 10% to go. But I'm 90%. I can walk without a cane. I can see. Because I couldn't even see before. I was seeing double.
I'm not, and listen, people, I'm not telling y'all to hate Wendy Williams. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to hate her for what she said. Like I said, she may have said what she said in jest. But I want you to understand, and I want to make it very, very clear, that it's statements that are made in jest, just like that get people killed. It's statements like that. That's how it starts off. It starts off small. It starts off this small. A statement like, I want all you gay men to stop wearing our skirts and our dresses and our shoes. It's statements like that can get somebody killed. It's statements like that some people react in the wrong way. Look at what Snoop did last week. Y'all didn't learn from that? Everybody was with Snoop until they saw that he threatened Gayle King. Does she deserve to be threatened? Absolutely not. She don't deserve to be threatened. But at the same time, the question that she kept continuing to ask and she kept on continuing to push should not have been asked at all in the first place. She shouldn't have asked it in the first place. That's what everybody failed to miss. Is that she shouldn't have asked the question in the first place. Because that very question that she asked got her death threats. It got her ridiculed. It got her cursed out. It got her called out her name. It got her all the negativity that she could never have imagined just from asking that one question. That's why I say to you people, we have to be careful of the way in which we of the words that we choose to come out of our mouths. And I'm saying this to my people, we as black people, and I'm telling y'all, and I'm going to continue to say this until somebody sends me an email and tells me that they've done it. I want you, and anybody out there, anybody on this live within the sound of my voice, I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to put in the search Willie Lynch letters. Because, and the reason why I put so much emphasis on us reading the Willie Lynch letter is because I want you guys to understand that the Chinese people, they stick together. The Arabic people, they stick together. The Muslim people, they stick together. The white people, they stick together. We as black people, the only thing we do is we sit here and complain about what the white man does to us and what every other race does to us and what every other race is getting besides us. And the reason why we do this is because we don't understand who we are and where we come from and why we treat each other the way we treat each other. Understand this. We are the majority in this country. But you know what? That will never be we will never get any recognition for that. You know why? Because we can't come together as a people. We will never, ever evolve as a people until we understand where we came from and until we correct all the wrongs that we continue to do to one another. In the words of T.S. Madison, religion is going to be the downfall of the black race. It is the downfall of the black race. That's what separates us. Because we hate. And I'm not ashamed to say it, and I'm not afraid to say it. We hate one another, and we need to stop hating one another. When we learn how to stop hating one another, then we can sit at the table and we can have a discussion and we can talk about love. We can talk about love and where love is going to take us. I'm His Majesty, Trimell McCray. That's my husband, Joseph. Stroke free.
But I just stay calm. Y'all, I don't be turning up like I used to. That's why in that doctor's office, she lucky. Because my blood pressure was 116 over 35. And the only thing that stopped me from probably getting the cops called on me and turning that office completely out was that when Trimell took me to the hospital when I had a stroke, my blood pressure was 225 over 119. So because I was calm, and he was waiting. He was sitting there waiting like, I know he's going to carry on. I said, Trimell, let's just go. And we was walking. I wasn't even using the cane. And he was like, slow down. I said, I'm mad. I can walk perfectly fine now because I'm mad and I'm walking to the car. I almost tripped when I got outside. But I'm learning because the stroke came from stress and getting myself upset and high blood pressure. So I'm learning that I need to keep it calm and not, go to 100 as quick as I normally do. But my other doctor, my nephrologist for my dialysis, when I told him what happened, he was completely appalled. So therapy called me today. So I should be starting therapy in a couple of weeks. Well, weeks, because tomorrow is Friday.
Hey, Charles, happy birthday.
But everything is working itself out perfectly. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Famous and Tyrone for those beautiful shirts.
Yes. Thank you so much. Tyrone and Famous, thank you so much. We really, really love you guys. We really do.
You'll see him on us in the video. Either on here or YouTube.
Yeah.
He just went live because he was frustrated.
Yeah. But before we go, guys, please make sure that you're watching us on all of our social media platforms. Again, we are on Instagram, Twitter. We're also here on Facebook. You can please like our page, The McCray Kings Corner. The McCray Kings here on YouTube. We are also, on Facebook. We are also on YouTube. Please go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Watch our videos and hit the like and subscribe button and the notifications so that you will get notifications each time we drop new content. And make sure that you listen to our podcast. We just rolled out a new podcast today on the very subject that I signed on to talk about today. How far is too far? Is that the name of the?
No, but that's on there too.
Yeah. But go listen to our podcast.
You can find it on any podcast platform, but definitely to make it easy for you, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, because either you have an iPhone or Android, as well as if you have Spotify, you can listen to us on Spotify as well under the McCray Kings. We have a whole bunch of podcasts. We have some funny podcasts, we have some serious podcasts, and when you're sitting in the car driving, you can't watch us, but you can listen to us. So if you like what we say, I've read comments all night that y'all love us because we keep it real. Well, the podcast is a little deeper than the lives. So I think a lot of people listen to the podcast and they actually like the podcast better than they like the lives. Because it's just like me and Trimell having a conversation. And then definitely check out our Love and Marriage series. We have interviews with Tyrone and Famous.
Yes.
We have interviews with Brock and Gabriel.
Yes.
We have interviews with the Harrells, and we have interviews with the A-Mackers. We just did theirs. Theirs released on Wednesday. So go check out the Love and Marriage series. And if you are married, whether it doesn't matter, gay, straight, heterosexual, lesbian, it doesn't matter. Engaged, married. If you want to be on the podcast, just inbox Trimell or me. You know my name on Facebook is Joseph McCray. You already know his because you're watching the video. If you want to be a part of the podcast, and you and your husband, or you and your wife, or you, well, you either got a husband
Well, we want
or
to
wife.
hear from you. We have several different podcasts that we are working on, and we want to hear from you. For those of you that are dealing with mental issues such as depression, bipolar disorder, I want to hear from you. For those of you that are that are married and you want to have a voice in this world, we want to hear from you. For those of you that have an opinion, whether it be positive or negative, we want to hear from you. So you can write to us at the McCray Kings Corner at gmail.com. Again, that's the McCray Kings Corner at gmail.com.
And you know
or
Kings
you
is
can
what
you can go on to our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, or our YouTube page, and you can contact us anytime you want.
And you can even send us a message on the podcast. Just hit the send message button. Shalene did it, and she left us a message on the podcast telling us that she loved it and it was great. So you can go on the McCray Kings page on Facebook and leave a message. If you see our response time is quick, because between me and Trimell, one of us will get back to you. Or you can inbox us individually.
And thank you so much for listening to me vent and rant about something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And people, we have to do better. We got to do better with one another. We got to do better with one another. We got to start loving one another instead of tearing each other down just because we don't like something.
And if you don't have nothing nice to say, shut the fuck up. I might have had a stroke, but ain't nothing wrong with this mouth.
There ain't nothing wrong with that mouth. But I'm out of here, guys. Talk to you soon. And remember, walk in love, peace, and happiness. And remember, it's Team McCray.
All damn day.
Talk to you soon.
Later, y'all.